I saved her! I stopped him from killing her! Please believe me! Please!
I'm sorry.
No, please! I want to go home! I want to go home! I want to go home! I want to go home, please! Please!
The engines were furious with what they had just shown on EastEnders. Thomas was even more furious. That poor Alice Branning. She's been wrongfully charged with Michael Moon's murder and she's facing a very long miserable time in prison. Thanks to that evil murder house Janine Butcher and those incompetent Wolford coppers. That is just this.
Disgraceful, mumbled Gordon. Disgusting, said James. Despicable, spluttered Henry.
Thank you, Gordon, James and Henry. Now, I already have a plan. I'm gonna travel to Wolford to rescue Alice Branning from that dreadful prison. Have that evil Janine Butcher put in prison where she belongs for those coppers and bring Alice back to Soda. Alice will have a happier life with Thomas the Tank Engine and all his friends here on Soda away from that decrepit old square.
Hooray, hooray, the engines whistled.
But first, I'll need my right-hand man for this rescue mission, and that is the Fat Controller. The Fat Controller was having breakfast. He was eating just some marmalade.
The butler knocked and came in.
Excuse me, sir. Thomas is on the telephone. He says it's an emergency.
Bother that telephone, said the Fat Controller.
Listen to this, sir. Go ahead, Thomas. I'm listening. You are right, Thomas. We need to sort this out right away.
It has caused confusion and delay.
Meet me at Catford. Right away, sir.
I'm sorry, my dear.
Alice Branning on EastEnders is in trouble and Thomas and I need to go and rescue her this instant. An hour later, Thomas arrived at Catford with a new Anchorable, where the Fat Controller was waiting on the platform. He had something unique in his hand. This, Thomas, is a teleporting device. It'll help us get to Albert Square quickly in a matter of seconds. The Fat Controller boarded into Thomas' cab and activate the teleporting device.
Thomas was excited.
Within a matter of seconds, the teleporting device sent Thomas and the Fat Controller to Albert Square. Thomas looked around and was disgusted by the sight of how boring and decrepit the square was.
Well, bust my boiler,
This place makes me want to stuff party poppers down my funnel.
exclaimed Thomas. Indeed, agreed the Fat Controller.
But you can't stuff party poppers down your funnel, Thomas. You haven't got any hands. I was being sarcastic, sir, replied Thomas. Anyway, we've come here to rescue Alice Branning, right?
Yes, replied the Fat Controller.
And to take down Janine Butcher as well, right, Thomas? Take us to Wolford Police Station. We'll find Alice and Janine there.
Why? asked Thomas.
Because we've travelled back in time, Thomas. Alice and Janine will still be questioned by those incompetent coppers for Michael Moon's murder. You see, Thomas, my teleporting device can also take us back in time. That means we can stop those coppers from wrongfully charging Alice with Michael's murder and we can have Janine taken down. Right, Thomas, get us to Wolford Police Station. There's no time to lose.
Oh, yes!
Minutes later, Thomas and the Fat Controller arrived at Wolford Police Station.
Now for our plan.
Yes, Thomas, when I count to 3, charge at the entrance and we go straight in. 1, 2, 3. Charge! Where is Janine Butcher? Thomas and I want words with her. And where's Alice Branning and those coppers who are interviewing her?
It's our intention to speak to the CPS. We're going to be charging you with murder.
I do not think so. You stop it, incompetent coppers. That's right. It's Thomas the Tank Engine and I've come to rescue Miss Alice Branning. She is innocent, and you'll not be charging an innocent young lady and let her spend a long time behind bars. Alice, darling, you're coming with us, and you two pathetic idiots are both. Never mess with Thomas the Tank Engine. Or Alice Branning. Now I wonder if the Fat Controller has found that Janine Butcher eat. She is in big trouble. Meanwhile, the Fat Controller had finally found Janine. He was outraged.
She murdered my husband. Now, if you don't mind.
Don't you dare play games with me.
Butcher, you have caused confusion and delay. You killed your own husband, Michael, in cold blood, and you tried to frame poor Alice Branning for it, and she was about to face a very long time behind bars for something she didn't do. Even worse, she would have been screaming, "I want to go on," in a cell repeatedly like she did in the interview room. Thomas and I have come all this way from the island of Soda to rescue Alice and have you, Janine, finally put behind bars for the rest of your life.
Ho, ho, ho.
Bye-bye, Janine. Have a nice time in prison. The Fat Controller met Thomas and Alice outside the police station. You are safe now, my darling Alice. Thomas and I thought we'd come and rescue you after we saw what happened. It was all Thomas's idea. He's a really useful engine.
My hero.
And she kissed Thomas.
Thomas blushed bright red. Now, said the Fat Controller, we need to get back to Soda. Alice, we are taking you to Soda, and there you'll have a happy life with Thomas and all his friends. The Fat Controller and Alice jumped into Thomas' cab, and the Fat Controller activated the teleporting device once again, back to Soda. Within seconds, Thomas, the Fat Controller, and Alice arrived back on Soda safely.
We've done it. We're over the border and back on our own railway. Mission accomplished.
When Thomas, Alice and the Fat Controller arrived at the mill sheds, there was a big party held for them by the other engines. "Welcome to Soda, Alice," said Gordon. "We're thrilled to have you here," shouted Henry.
You look as bright and cheerful as my red paint.
Chuckled James.
"We're all your friends here, Alice," called Edward.
Beep, beep. Whistle Toby and Percy.
Beg pardon, interrupted Duck. "Let's all cheer for Thomas."
3 cheers for Thomas, the #1 engine.
Hip hip, hooray, hooray, hooray. Thomas was very happy that he had rescued Alice Branning from EastEnders, and Alice was even more happier that Thomas came to her rescue and saved her from a terrible fate, plus giving Alice a new home and a happier life on the island of Soda. More importantly, Alice was very lucky and proud to have Thomas as her saviour and her new best friend, and of it made Thomas feel like a really useful and heroic engine.